Hola everyone, welcome to Cuatla, a medium-sized city in the state of Morelos in Mexico. The state of Morelos is a small state located south of Mexico City. In fact, parts of the state are also parts of the Mexico City metropolitan area. The state's capital is Cuernavaca, and this is not Cuernavaca. There are not direct buses, but buses going straight to Cuatla, so it's not a small town, but it's also not a big city. So Cuatla is most famous as the place where revolutionary hero Emiliano Zapata was ambushed and assassinated. So what was the Mexican Revolution? It was not about its independence. It actually happened long after its independence. Long story short, there was a dictator supported by the United States at the time, and also I think the church, called Porfirio Diaz. He was in power for 30 years. He created economic stability for Mexico, and he built a lot of infrastructure. He was actually responsible for a lot of the pavilion that you can see in Mexican towns. However, he was a dictator, and there was obviously no democracy or not a lot of freedom in Mexico at the time, and that's why people were dissatisfied, especially when, in the supporters of Zapata's case, the peasants, they were pressured into producing more and more sugarcane, which they were not really able to do, and so they rose up against him. The revolution went on for a number of years, even after the fall of Diaz, because people kept switching sides, presidents kept getting assassinated, kept getting overthrown. But anyway, Zapata is generally recognized as one of the cleanest political figures in Mexico's history. Probably a reason is because he was assassinated as well, and so he could not have done as much, perhaps. Regardless, he was basically the ruler of the states of Morelos for the better part of the revolution, and he refused to submit to the authority of successive presidents during the revolution in Mexico City, and he had the support of the peasants, South Mexico City, and so eventually he was assassinated. One thing very special about him was that there was recently a painting depicting him as a fabulously gay character, and that was quite controversial because he had this very macho reputation. So we are just like at this, this is not the city center, which is why this is just some random street for me to talk to. Here you can see a statue of General Emilio Zapata. So now this is the Zócalo, the city center's square in Cuatla. So if I was reading it correctly, because obviously it was in Spanish, in 1999, the square that we just went to earlier is now actually the resting place of the remains of Zapata. and they called him the head of the liberation in the south. This bust is of an independence hero, Jose Maria Morelos y Pavon, who was obviously, you know, the state of Morelos was named after. And this is the main church, Santiago. So this is a former convent. This area in Morelos and Cuautla, there's a series of small Mexican towns with a former mission that, you know, they formed the UNESCO heritage site of the former missions on the slope of the two volcanoes here. I don't believe this is one of them, but one of the Wikipedia pages mentioned Cuatla. So there's that. And finally, this is the ancient, well, not ancient, but old train station, and it is now a museum. There are people inside, but it's closed. And this is it. Hasta luego.